I'm sure many people have already seen these videos, but last week, towards the end of the week last week, Daily Wire and Steven Crowder kind of got into a little bit of a schism, and kind of two of the bigger names and two of the bigger voices in the conservative movement. Steven Crowder, for the most people already know this, but Steven Crowder has done a show on YouTube, and then he had a subscription-based show. Used to be on CCTV. That was bought out by Blaze TV. So he had a subscription-based show on Blaze TV for those who are willing to pay a subscription to see this extended content. Last year he decided he was going to pursue another company. He's going to go out and see what was out there, see if he could come to agreement with another company, and kind of see if he could maybe build on that a little bit more. Daily Wire is one of those companies that actually sent him an offer sheet, a contract offer sheet or term sheet or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it a contract offer because that's basically what it was. But they'd sent him a contract offer, and Steven Crowder did not accept it. He turned it down. He turned several down, according to his videos, and then he was on Timcast the other night as well, and said he turned down all the offers, several offers. That wasn't the only one, but he had some concerns with the terms within the contract and within the offer. The biggest was the penalties, from what I understand. He was concerned with the penalties because they were reducing his pay based on YouTube and Facebook and all these other companies that are very liberal companies anyway. If they give him strikes or demonetize them or shadow banned or whatever it may be, there's all those things, because those are all things that actually have happened to him. He's been demonetized on YouTube for, I think he said around 3 years, about 3 years now. He's been demonetized. He hasn't made anything on YouTube for about 3 years. So putting something like that in his contract and in this offer is kind of a slap to the face almost to Steven Crowder, because he's already, that would automatically just immediately dock his pay right off the bat. Daily Wire, he did not actually mention Daily Wire in his initial video, but the Daily Wire come out and outed themselves as, yes, that was their offer sheet that he was talking about, that particular one in that video. They tried to defend it, saying that they were willing to negotiate and all that, and they told him how much it was, $50 million, which sounds like a lot of money, but when you take into consideration that Steven Crowder is still paying for the production of his own show, still paying for that, all the production out of that, paying for all his employees, paying for any production costs that may come, lawyer fees, all that stuff. He's still paying for all that. So it comes out to about $12.5 million a year, which is still a pretty good salary, but there's a lot of expenses out of that as well. He's not just taking home $50 million just because that's the offer. He's still paying a lot of things out of it. Now, it's very expensive to run a production company like he's doing. He's basically running his own production company right now. He's producing his own videos, everything. He doesn't use anybody else's resources or whatever like that. He uses his own. He's got his own crew, everything that way. So that kind of narrows down a lot of the money. Now, when you start taking away that money based on penalties, especially penalties that are based on like being demonetized or banned, shadow banned, or even removed from YouTube for a period of time, when that's already happened or already currently is happening right now to him, it makes it very, very difficult. So that's already starting to whittle that down even more. You're talking, I think it was like a 25% penalty in his earnings from, if he was removed on YouTube or demonetized on YouTube. The other thing that he didn't like was Daily Wire would actually control, own pretty much his entire everything. They'd own his merchandise sale. They'd own all the videos that he had while he was there, everything that way, which basically I understand to an extent how Daily Wire would want at least some of that. But you can't say you're going to take all that stuff at the same time and take everything. On top of that, they were wanting more ad reads, which Steven Crowder is one of those. He's very, very adamant on not filling his entire show full of ads. He wants a good content, and that's basically all it is. So the Daily Wire tried to do, talk about that, going on about, trying to defend their contract. Steven actually had videoed a call, or recorded a call, talking about that, and kind of outed Daily Wire CEO. And basically what he's saying is he doesn't want new creators having to fall for these same terms because they don't know any better. He's at an advantage because he does have a base already. A lot of these new guys don't. He's wanting to help build the program, and I think we need to listen to that because that's something that needs done and something that's important, and that's something that we need more conservative voices out there. And we don't want to try and burn these new guys out because this is something that is very important. There's not enough conservative voices out there. It needs to be heard. This side needs to be heard. And if you can't hear it, if nobody hears it, and we're getting these terms that are, basically handcuffing these, conservative voices, that's only helping the left because they don't have to worry about it. Their companies will defend them. These big companies, YouTube, Facebook, they will defend these already. So we need to stop with the, we need to work together, try and come up with fair offers. For these companies, they need to do fair offers, but we need to work together. And I'm not saying that we need to, be upset with either side. The Daily Wire is a business. Steven Crowder is a very big voice. They have different opinions even. I have different opinions of both of them. But we need to work together. Conservatives need to work together, stick together. That's one thing the left has. They unite. Even though they're good sheep, basically. They follow along. There's nobody that resists. Conservatives need to learn to work together and put even our differences aside and work together to help fight the left, because that is the real enemy, is the other side that's trying to destroy this country. And when you look at what they're actually doing, it's pretty hard to argue against what I'm saying. We need to work together to actually improve this country. And the conservative side needs to get together to do that and stick together and work together to fight the tyranny from the left.